Hello, Mrs. Moore. I'm doing Video Journal 3. So, as you know, we're talking about emotional intelligence. So, I took the test and I got a score of 60, which is in like the great range. It's like the emotionally intelligent person. So, I feel like some of my strengths and weaknesses when it comes to this sort of thing. With strengths, I feel like I'm a really good listener. A lot of my friends come to me when they're having issues, and I help them talk about it and kind of work through it with them. So I feel like I'm a really good listener. And one of the things it mentioned on the test is active listening. That's a very important word to put in front of listening, because there's a difference between hearing something and really like listening to it and really like taking it in and understanding what the other person is saying. And I feel like I'm really good with active listening, especially when it comes to my friends' problems. I really employ a lot of active listening to help them out. Um, as for like one of my weaknesses, I guess it's kind of hard for me to sometimes like let emotions go. Not like that I hold grudges or anything, but sometimes uh, if I'm feeling like one emotion really strongly, it can be hard for me to kind of say, okay, I've got to just get rid of this and like think positive and get back on track. It typically lingers and kind of stays with me. So I guess I could work on um, kind of getting myself back to a positive mindset and thinking kind of happier. Um, and as how I feel about the concept of emotional intelligence, I like it. It seems to have a pretty good grasp on a lot of different things that go into emotions and how people interpret them and understand them. It's not too vague to where some people that are learning about emotional intelligence might think like this just sounds like a random sort of phrase, like some pseudoscience. There's like no real information to this. It sounds like it has a lot of good, concepts, and like I said, it has a lot of variety and a lot of, a lot of things that go into it to really flesh out the concept of emotional intelligence, and again, like I said earlier, like how people interpret emotions and how they deal with them. And as for how I feel about emotional intelligence relating to success in the workplace, I feel like it goes hand in hand. Your attitude and your mindset and the way that affects the people that work around you can greatly affect the workplace as a whole. If your boss, for instance, has a really bad mindset, and that kind of seeps out of your boss, and that could affect pretty much all of the other workers at the place. And they may not enjoy coming to work, they may get stressed out at just the thought of going to work. And when you're working at a place and you don't want to be there, you're not going to put your best effort into working there. So I feel like emotional intelligence really comes into play when it comes to like motivation and effort in the workplace. And then, do I feel like it affects somebody more in sales, for instance, versus accounting? I could see how, because in sales you got to be very, like happy and have like a positive attitude, and you've got to be, firm. You don't want to come at a client too aggressively, but you don't want to be too relaxed about it and potentially lose the client either. You've got to find like a nice balance, and you got to be like a very like happy, like positive, like let's go get them kind of person, like a very motivated person. But I could see how all of that could play into accounting as well. Like I said earlier, if you don't really want to work at the place you're working at, you're not going to be very motivated, and you're not going to put a lot of effort behind your work. So I feel like if you're a person who really understands the emotions that are going on inside you, and you can really interpret them and learn how to deal with them and things, then that skill can really help in any area, no matter what, whether it's accounting or sales. So thank you.